You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
From the rolling bluffs of the Driftless region to the pristine shorelines of Superior in Michigan, from the Northwoods to the Kettle Moraine, Civic Media broadcasts across all of Wisconsin for all of Wisconsin. Take a trip with us across the radio network to hear from communities throughout the state. This is the Civic Media Spotlight.
Hello and welcome to the first hour of the Civic Media Spotlight. We kick off this hour with Afternoons with John and Gordy. John and Gordy talk with Barry Orton. John and Gordy talk with Barry Orton, who knows everything about the history of media company acquisitions and how this new Netflix deal is nothing new. Tune in.
Afternoons with John and Gordy.
That's John Peterson. I'm Gordy Young, along with our producer, Aaron Zommers, and Madison and surrounding areas. In fact, a lot of areas around Wisconsin have a winter weather advisory right now, and just in time for your drive home, just be extra careful out there. Some of this stuff is starting to get on the roadways here and there, so take it easy out there. Okay. Now it's time for us to welcome Barry Orton to the show. Barry, good afternoon to you. He's a
Thanks for having me.
He's a professor emeritus. Where are you professor emeritus, by the way? I don't have that.
Why? Because
Where?
I'm retired.
No.
Where? UW-Madison.
Okay, UW-Madison. Okay. And involved in telecommunications, professional development, and applied studies.
We've been talking to Barry for thousands of years. Barry, we've talked many times before.
I've been on the air over the many years. I've been retired since 2016. From about 1980 to 2016, I was UW-Madison's guy with new media technology, particularly cable and internet.
Yeah, cable was interesting in this town. It was very, very interesting in this town.
Yeah, well, that's other stories for another day.
It is. Yes, it is. Well, let's talk about the Netflix. I will try to connect
this to today's controversy.
All right. Why don't we go? There are a lot of political overtones.
You're interested in the Time Warner or the Warner Brothers Paramount versus Netflix deal.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's really important. Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, called it a five-alarm antitrust fire. Mm-hmm. And she's basically saying you're really looking at control of nearly half of the entertainment media Americans consume by this megalo company when it happens. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to happen. The question is which buyer.
Well, that's the problem I have. It seems like Trump might be, leaning toward his friend Larry Ellison, right?
Right. And of course, his son-in-law has a piece of that too. So yes, the original deal where Netflix was going to pick up Warner Brothers and all the accumulated cable networks that company now owns, Discovery and a whole bunch of others. That was going to be a terrible deal for the public. And the only thing worse is the deal that probably will happen where Netflix doesn't buy it, but Paramount does. Mm-hmm. And that makes a terrible deal look almost possible and almost good compared to the awful deal and the awful people who would be controlling that company. Yeah. And as you said, it's the Ellison family, which got rich off Oracle and other, how can I put this nicely, monopolistic software companies. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Jared Kushner is a piece of that. And then they have unnamed Middle Eastern financiers from Qatar and other countries. Yeah. And I can't think of a combination that would be worse for the public than those capitalist thieves.
And worse because they can drive up the price of everything, all the media,
and
subscriptions,
they control,
etc.
And they would control much of the information that Americans would consume.
That's right. It'd be very political at that point because, they do have CBS now. So
right.
And is CNN in this deal too?
The company that they would be buying happens to run and own CNN.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're talking about some mainstream so-called legacy media companies here. And who owns and controls them is a political question, as is the whole issue of who owns and controls big media. This goes back to the 1930s and who could own radio stations and how many, and who could own television stations and how many. And we have been deregulating all of that for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Occasionally, we re-regulate it again when a Democratic president or Congress comes in, but mostly we deregulate.
Yeah.
And what that means is higher prices and bigger companies and less competition as the smaller companies get eaten by the bigger companies.
Well, one of the weird stories that I remember reading a while back was how all of these big, giant media companies, these movie companies, gave up the DVD market. They stopped releasing their media out there. That was a gigantic cost. I mean, they lost so much money giving up selling their movies at the store.
Well, we can go back as the media conglomerates change and as the technology changes, you can go back and see whole fortunes lost and won on the change of who owns what companies, how we watch movies,
right,
whether we watch them on VHS, whether we watch them on DVD, whether we rent or buy, all that, and whether we pay via cable or via streaming internet, all that is controlled by politics, and it's controlled by government. And most recently, and most scarily, I think, is this agglomeration continued to the utmost, where there one or two or three major companies have control over so many different media outlets.
Yeah.
And I don't have to tell you how that's affected radio, how that's affected television, how that's affected TV news, and all of that. And all of that essentially is political. Now, recently, 2 or 3 days ago, the Supreme Court heard a case about whether President Trump can fire an FTC commissioner, Federal Trade Commission. There are two major independent agencies that affect the media that we're talking about, films, broadcast television, cable television, radio, and that's the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. The FTC deals with kind of fairness and competition and whether marketplaces have been taken over.
All right.
And the FCC deals, of course, with the licensing and arrangement of who owns what TV, radio, and other media stations. They are both designed, as are several other federal agencies, to be balanced in favor of the president's administration. It's usually by 3-2 or 4-3, but essentially there's some Democratic members, some Republican members, and there's a majority based on who is president.
Right.
Well, the president has now moved to fire a Democratic member of the FTC so that he would have essentially totally control of what should be an independent agency.
Yeah.
And he's already got control, obviously, of the FCC with the chairman, Brendan Carr, attacking CBS for editing 60 Minutes.
I know.
Right. Yes.
Those kinds of things. These kinds of things are inherently political decisions that are based in the balance of power in our system.
Yeah.
And our system is now set up so that 80% of us always vote the way we always vote, and 20% decide who's in Congress and who's the president. And of that 20%, mainly only in places like Wisconsin, 5 or 10% are really the balance. So we have a system that's set up right now to be split. to be balanced. And these independent agencies, much like supposedly the state Supreme Court and the federal Supreme Court, are supposed to be partially filled by Democrats, partially filled by Republicans, and be somewhat balanced as a result over time. The case involving the FTC looks like it's going to overthrow a case where Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to get rid of an FTC commissioner he didn't like because that person was stopping parts of the New Deal. And the Supreme Court said, no, these are independent agencies, and they're set up to be that way. Well, now we're looking at the possibility that all these issues, antitrust, who controls the media, how big these media companies can get, is going to be decided by independent agencies that maybe aren't so balanced anymore. And if certain people have their way, aren't going to be balanced at all.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy, and I'm kind of surprised at how many mergers have taken place since Trump became president. It just seems kind of coincidental, doesn't it?
Well, this is just a new burst of mergers. The problem is when the Democrats are in control, mergers are tougher.
Yeah.
The scrutiny, the antitrust scrutiny that these mergers get is much more severe. When Republicans are in charge, it's merger time. It's time for people to make big bucks on the acquisition and merger of companies. Now, behind a lot of this, you should look for the name John Malone.
There's
John
a name
Malone
from the past, yes.
You remember that name?
Oh, yes.
He used to own a company called TCI, which had the cable operation here in Madison for a while. Then it got sold to other companies. AT&T bought it for a while. Well, guess who is the largest controlling stockholder of Discovery, which is one of the companies that's going to be bought?
Yeah.
And who was the chairman of emeritus of the board of that company, John Malone, who is the single largest landowner in the United States.
It's amazing. And we're talking with Barry Orton. He is a UW professor emeritus, talking about telecommunications. Barry, back to the original question. So how do you think this deal that's on the table right now is going to shake out? I mean, it's just getting started.
I knew exactly how I'd go into the market and buy something.
Buy some stock somewhere. Yeah.
That's way above my pay grade.
It's too early to tell, right? This is going to be.
I don't have $1 billion to ante up at the table to get the inside information.
Well, I
need to answer that. If I had to put money on it, I wouldn't bet against Ellison and Kushner and Paramount.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of that. Just a lot afraid of that. Here's a question for you, though, and we can come back after our break here. But the question is, now that CBS is owned by Paramount and it is an over-the-air station, the FCC has charge of this. Can we complain and try to control CBS's point of view because now we have some control over it? The public has control over it. Is it possible?
The public doesn't have control over the FCC.
Well, I mean, the public can say, well, these are over the air. They have a responsibility to the communities.
All right.
Oh, so we're going to go sue the FCC. That'll work.
Okay, hold on, Barry.
You answered that one pretty quickly, Barry.
Hold that thought. We will be back with Barry Orton. It's John Peterson, Gordy Young on the Civic Media Radio Network, coming back after this.
John and Gordy in the Afternoon is part of the Civic Media Radio Network, airing weekday afternoons from 2 to 5. To learn more about this show and all of the Civic Media programming, check out the Civic Media website at civicmedia.us/shows.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Up next on the Civic Media Spotlight, we have the Matenaer on Air show. This is a special broadcast, and a bittersweet one. After an incredible 44 years in media, we are honored to celebrate the remarkable career of someone who has informed, entertained, guided, and inspired audiences across Wisconsin, Jane Matenaer. Today, on her final show with Civic Media, we're not just saying goodbye. We're saying thank you. Thank you for the storytelling. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the dedication, and thank you for showing us what it means to care deeply about this craft. It's been a privilege to have her on our airwaves, and it's an honor to give this spotlight to her. Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Matenaer.
Welcome back to Matenaer on Air. Jane Matenaer, Greg Bach, Sweet Calby on the board, coming to you live from our very crowded studio at Radio Park in Racine.
It's a line for the bathroom.
Really, join us at 855-752-4842. You can also leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream. Good morning, live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. I cannot thank all of you enough for being we have half the staff of Civic Media in here, and we're spread out all over the state. So for you folks who drove hours to be here for this, I cannot thank you enough. It means the world. You're going to make me be a sobbing mess. I don't want to do that.
Oh, too bad.
I don't want to do that. I'll cry later.
You'll cry now.
I'll cry. No, I'm
You'll
not.
cry now.
No crying. There's no crying in broadcasting. There's not supposed to be anyway.
But here we are.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. You told me to be like water.
I told you to be like water, and you made a bullet point speech for your goodbye.
I did.
So go for it.
Are we ready?
Hey, are you ready?
I am ready. All right, here we go. Here's my bullet point. Bye-bye. Number 1, not being informed is a choice. You are choosing to give someone else the power to make decisions that directly affect you. If you think about it, we walk around nowadays with encyclopedias in our hands. So saying you don't know about something is not an excuse. As my mother would have said, go look it up, get informed. Knowledge is power. Don't give that to somebody else. Share what you know. Number 2, myvote.wi.gov. Use it. Call your representatives. Let them know you're probably better informed on things than they would like you to be. And if they aren't going to work on your behalf, perhaps they could have the decency to wear the logos of their corporate owners. I mean donors. No, I mean owners. Number 3, there is nothing wrong with reaching out for help. Asking for help is a sign of wisdom and courage, not cowardice. Call 988. It's there for you. Number 4, now more than ever, we need one another. So get involved. Help a neighbor, help a stranger, volunteer, donate, write postcards, find your candidate, knock on doors, organize, donate blood, adopt an animal, or buy a unicorn cape and march in support of democracy. Whatever works for you, but do something. Number 5, eye contact can be fun. Interact with other humans. Okay, not in a creepy, unbroken, staring kind of way, but try something crazy, like saying good morning to the clerk at the gas station, or hold the door open for the lady at the post office. Giving out a small compliment to someone, again, in a non-creepy, stalky way, can actually make someone's day. I've done it, and so far, no one's punched me yet. Number 6, this is state-specific for people in my beloved home. Friends, we live in Wisconsin. When it snows, can we at least pretend we've driven in it before? Snow isn't new. Neither are the laws of physics. Your big, fancy, expensive vehicle is still going to slide. And as a reminder to all of us, a semi-truck will always beat you. Respect them. Oh, hell, just drive like me, and then everything will be fine. Number 7, remember that respect is earned, not demanded. And number 8, never forget the importance of a little bit of silly. Laughter is an undervalued commodity. A chuckle to yourself is worth just as much as a big belly laugh, and it's all free. I hope you find some joy going forward, and you have the chance to share it. I love you guys.
We love you too, Jane.
Standing ovation for
My
Jane
goodness.
Matenaer.
Oh, my goodness.
It has been a gift.
4 more years. 4 more years.
I promise to only email everyone once a week with all of my suggestions and things you should be covering and talking about. And You are all special and magnificent, and what you do makes a difference. Please, please don't ever doubt that, because it does. It makes a difference. And everyone who listens, you all make a difference too. Every little thing can add up. Just like we talk about making donations for things. If you can only do $1, if enough of us do $1, that makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
So we're pebbles. Be a pebble. Or a goldfish. Or be a plant. I don't care. You can be whatever you want to be.
And that's exactly.
Here's some flowers for
look at that.
We got flowers for Jane here.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
And Jane, you have made a difference.
Yes.
You have made a difference. You're asking other people to make a difference. You have made a difference for your 44 plus years.
And
in
now
radio.
I have the whereases to prove it.
Exactly. You are legally recognized in Milwaukee.
Thank you,
It is
everyone.
Jane Matenaer Day.
So very, very much. Take good care. Take care of each other. I love you. And
love you
stay
too.
tuned for news. News is coming up next. Keep it here and tell people about it.
What should
Civic-
people do with joy?
I hope you find some joy today.
There you go.
And you get the chance to share it. News is next. Tom Hartman has the next keyword for you. $200 up for grabs. Don't miss out.
You could win next hour.
I could enter. Where's my phone? You are listening to the Civic Media Radio Network. Love you guys. Take care.
Matenaer on Air is part of the Civic Media Radio Network and airs on select Civic Media stations weekday mornings from 9 to 11. To learn more about this show and all of the Civic Media programming, check out the website at civicmedia.us/shows.
Up next on the Civic Media Spotlight, we have John and Gordy. In the morning, they dive into a discussion with Savanna Tomei-Olson about the economic struggles in Madison, focusing on the Hilton Monona Terrace workers rallying for their first union contract amid high living costs.
Radio waves where the spirits thrive. Cool guests rolling in like a breeze through the door. Stories stacking up, who could ask for more? Too many more shows, to laughter and cheers. Civic Media magic to golden years. With coffee in hand and tales to unfold. John and Gordy's legend is radio gold.
I'm dropping my plate. There goes my food. Oh,
Good morning.
yikes.
It's John and Gordy for a Friday. 7 minutes past the hour. It's cold to start things out. 4 degrees, highs in mid-20s for today. Clouds this morning, maybe a little light snow along the way later. And, yes, John.
Well, we have a text from Larry.
Oh, what does Larry have to say?
Deerfield. He said, we had one of those cafeteria-type places.
Oh, the
where
Swedish smorgasbord?
I don't know. In Eau Claire. So maybe it was one of those food mats.
Okay.
Right?
Automats?
Yeah,
Okay.
automats.
Well, possibly so.
Could be.
I know we have Savanna Tomei-Olson standing by, but we have to fire off the grown-up gift list text to win multi-state contest because it's a 7 o'clock hour. I know. We got phone calls coming in. I know. We've got people want to talk to us, but first, we got to get the keyword out there so people can have a chance to win $200 cash today and get in on the chance to win one of 3 grand prizes, either a snowblower, a stainless steel cookware set, or a portable air conditioner. This hour's keyword is polar. P-O-L-A-R. Polar. Like the polar vortex. Polar. P-O-L-A-R. That's the keyword. Get that in before 8 o'clock this morning. There'll be other keywords at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 7 p.m. And everybody gets a chance, once you get in, to get one of those grand prizes. You can download the Civic Media app, use the text button to send that keyword in. Polar is the keyword, P-O-L-A-R. All right? You can go to civicmedia.us for contest details. Okay.
All right.
Let's
All right.
move on here.
I missed Larry's follow-up text to us. The Jolly Troll,
yes,
most famously refers to an iconic Swedish smorgasbord restaurant chain in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities, from the 1960s and 70s, known for animated trolls, all-you-can-eat buffets, and Swedish dishes.
Animated trolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like something they'd have in Mount Horeb, right?
There was also a separate recent alternative indie music track by the mod gods of Nod called the Jolly Trolls. So there you go.
Okay.
Little history, and
good
I
to
have
know.
to say that I make Swedish meatballs.
Oh, do you?
For the kids.
Oh,
yeah.
they like those?
Oh, they're great.
Okay.
Really is.
Wonderful.
All right.
Do we have Savannah waiting?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, let's get to Savannah.
Let's find out what headlines are happening around the area. Good morning, Savannah.
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
We're doing
Good,
all right.
good.
What's happening in your world? What's newsworthy that we need to know about?
Now, I want to talk about basically the economic picture for some people here in Madison and Dane County, and we can use one example, and that's the workers at the Hilton Monona Terrace. So that's the hotel that's actually connected to the terrace. It has that skywalk.
Yes.
They just voted in August to join a union. They're still negotiating their first contract, but their union did this study, and they found that everybody who's working 40 up to 60 hours a week sometimes, out of all of those people we're talking about, drivers, bartenders, cooks, room attendants, there are a third of them who are either on Badger Care Medicaid or don't have insurance at all. And on average, they're making $18 an hour. And here in Madison, to have a modest, not updated, just enough space, 2-bedroom, you need to be able to make $28 an hour.
Yeah.
And that's really just what a lot of people in our area are dealing with at this point, with the way our economy looks right now.
Wow. So they're rallying for their first union contract. Is that what I understand you to say?
That's right. So it's been almost 6 months, and they're still waiting, and they're still negotiating.
waiting.
It can be such a long process,
Wow. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
That seems kind of a long period of time if you have a union working for you, right? So, wow.
Well, and the process to start a union is so lengthy and can be so complicated. Everybody I've talked to who's ever joined one, we had the people over at Festival Foods on East Wash who just joined a union earlier this year. I mean, it took them almost a year just to get everything in order before they could even start the negotiation process.
Yeah.
It takes a really long time to get it all going and, deal with the labor relations board and all that.
Well, I hope they get that all together. I mean, certainly, higher pay and more pay would certainly help. And it's a great hotel. I've been there.
Yeah. What else is happening newsworthy?
Yeah. Anything change on the isthmus over here? the drive on John Nolan. Any good news at all?
I have good news. Okay, so have you guys seen the tree in the Capitol yet this year?
No, but we were talking with Pam Yankee a little while ago
That's
about
right.
it.
And I saw a news story on it. They did show the tree. It was gorgeous, but you could hardly see it.
It has thousands of ornaments on it this year, and it's all made by kids across Wisconsin. They made them in school.
Okay.
And USA Today nominated our holiday tree for their top 10 best public holiday lights displays all over the country. And then they announced this week what those top 10 were actually going to be. And we made the list. It was number 7 of everywhere in the country, the pretty holiday things to go look at. So there's some good news.
That's pretty cool.
Gone and seen the tree, go check it out.
All right.
Okay, we'll do that. All right,
sounds
Savannah.
great.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you checking in with us. You have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks a bunch.
All right.
That's Savanna Tomei-Olson from WMDX News.
Take the kids down there and check it out. Yeah, all handmade children's ornaments.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is.
Can you imagine going through all of the entries and all of the ornaments?
No.
Wow. I mean, I would hate to turn back any, even ones that look kind of, bad. I mean, you feel bad. You're sorry for them. You just want to put it up on the tree
kids.
anyway, right?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. All right, let's go to the phone lines first before we get to any other stuff here. Dick, what do you got for us this morning?
Good morning.
Two things. How about Trump's response yesterday about affordability? You rubes don't appreciate what I've done for you?
Yeah.
That's what he actually said.
And I figured out his immigration policy. It's this. If you're hardworking and work 2 jobs, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got $1 million, you're in. And if you've got money to bail yourself out of prison, you're in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Well,
right.
the fact that, Trump couldn't even get these Republicans on the same page as far as passing the tax credits for the ACA.
Right.
And now they've just kind of let that slide by. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
They're trying to go around it. There's still plans. I don't even know why they keep teasing us with this, because then it just disappoints us. Each and every week, each and every day they try this stuff. It doesn't work.
Right.
We're not getting anywhere with this.
Well, and Trump had another loss in Indiana. They were trying to do some redistricting, and the Republicans voted this down.
They voted
overwhelmingly
They did
down.
not want to do it.
They did not want to go, and they were pressured a lot by the Trump administration to do this.
And by the governor.
And they said no.
The governor was really disappointed, too. But they don't want to join this craziness, this insanity that's going on, and be told what to do. Mm-hmm. And, everybody's talking about how the dominoes are falling away from Trump at this point. They're kind of abandoning him, finding out that his popularity isn't there either anymore.
Right. That's dropping like a rock.
Dropping like a rock.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good for him, anyway.
But, yesterday we talked about the health care subsidies, and Chris Hayes was talking about it. Bernie Sanders was talking about it. I just want to play this cut for everybody in case you might have missed it yesterday afternoon. This is cut 93. And they were talking about what's happening here to get that thing passed in Congress, because it's ongoing. So let's listen to this cut.
So this is what the GOP proposal I think is going to be in the Senate tomorrow. It would do away with the enhanced tax credits. Instead, it would take that money for those tax credits, put it into health savings accounts for those who purchase bronze level or catastrophic plans on the ACA exchange. And they say this will help Americans pay for out-of-pocket costs. And they say it's better if we turn Americans into more active consumers of their health care. What do you think of that?
I think it's absurd and, just totally bogus policy.
It is.
Bronze plan has very high deductibles. It is, if you get seriously ill, you are in deep trouble because you're not going to be able to have the insurance coverage that you need. They give you $1,000 or $1,500. That could pay for some minor health care needs. But it is nowhere near protecting people who are going to see a doubling or a tripling in their health care premiums.
There you go.
And that's Bernie Sanders, along with Chris Hayes.
Now, we've been talking about this for an awful long time, and it's time that we just, go with universal health care. I just want to play a little part of this because this is just how complicated the Republicans think it should be in this cut 102. Let's play this, all right? Here we go.
So our bill forces, again, all healthcare providers to show you the true cost. This turns patients back into consumers. It is the only industry in America where we don't allow consumerism. And the ACA has just complicated this.
No.
This will mean $1,000 a month per family. If we adopt our price tags bill, it'll save the average American family $1,000 a month. Original Obamacare subsidies are not expiring, and they typically cover about 80% of the premiums. I'm willing to extend those for a year as long as we get some of these other things, as long as there's long-term reform. We get our price tag bills, we address the fraud, and then what we would do is slowly start putting money into your healthcare savings account. Let me say that again. The federal government, rather than sending money to the insurance companies, we're going to put money in your healthcare savings account to pay towards your deductibles. Remember, your deductibles under Obamacare.
These people are crazy. Can you imagine the complicated system they would have put in place?
No.
Now, those are exactly the conditions we had before the Affordable Care Act,
and it
Obamacare.
Didn't work.
Well, we had to go to Obamacare because of that.
Right.
And they want to go back to a market system, because people, get diseases by choice, right? And then we want to get it treated by choice. Yeah. Then we want to go to all the hospitals in town and check out their board where they have listed the price of each and every operation that you can get, and all the doctors and the anesthesiologist, everybody's bill. It's all right up there.
Sure.
Right up on the board.
That'll work.
Then you make a decision that way.
Okay.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy.
It is nuts.
Okay. Let's see.
There's a reason why it's not market-based. We don't shop for health care.
All right. Remember your anger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just take a deep breath. Okay. Blood pressure is skyrocketing right now. 19 minutes past the hour. We're back with more of John and Gordy for this Friday morning after these messages from our beloved sponsors.
The John and Gordy Show is part of the Civic Media Radio Network and airs on WMDX weekday mornings from 6 until 8. To learn more about this show and all of the Civic Media programming, check out the website at civicmedia.us/shows.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
We move on to the WXCO Morning Report with Chad Holmes. In this report, Chad Holmes talks with Marathon County Democratic Party Chair Nancy Stencil. Enjoy.
It is the WXCO Morning Report here on 98.9 WXCO. I am Chad Holmes, Ian Welsh across the way, and giving Nancy a little food here to start things off. Marathon County Democratic Party Chair Nancy Stencil across the table. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. Hey, and it's always good to start out with Foo Fighters or U2 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Earlier this week, the doorbell rang here. And I go out there, and all of a sudden there's Fred Clark. He's just paying a visit. And he stopped on in, and actually I'm going to be talking to Fred next week, which will be fun. But I sat down for a little bit, and he was saying that he was going to an event that you were part of.
Yes.
He's one of the candidates in the 7th Congressional District in the Democratic side. And you had talked to me about him previously. I had not personally talked to him previously, and comes across as a kind of a good guy. And
I'd like to think he is, yes.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we used to think, I believe, that most of the folks that ran, both on the Republican and Democratic sides, for the most part, were good guys. And then Donald Trump came along, so it made me
and
feel...
really blew that out of the water,
so I don't assume anything anymore. But
we're just talking about that, yeah.
It's like, hey, this is actually a guy that seems to be a nice enough fella, and we were just talking. And I thought, hey,
you're saying what's wrong here? He makes sense.
I know. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to actually delving into a number of the issues with him when we do talk next week. But what was going on earlier this week?
We had a meet and greet for him at our Democratic Party office. There's several candidates running, and he has really come out and hit it hard, and he just keeps going. And then after the event, he did a Zoom call rally for the Northwoods, and he did it out of our office. And they had, I think it was 120 people on this Zoom the other night. And he's just very straightforward. He gave me a call when he got into town. He goes, hey, where can I go to eat where I can just talk to folks? So I told him about a restaurant, and he did just that. And he mingles with everybody. He talks to everybody. He's not reaching out to just Democrats. So,
and the thing about it is, and I think we're kind of touching when we were sitting in the lobby. I was talking about going back to Jimmy Carter, when people thought, and then we're talking about, because we just had on the latest candidate for governor, and talking about pathways to being elected, because there are impressive people that I would think would be wonderful public servants, but that's only part one. The part two is trying to get connected with people, and for somebody like Fred, I think, and for the other Democratic candidates in the 7th, it's going to be a slow and steady build, because again, it's a big district, number one, and you have to just basically try to, there's no real easy way to do it, but that is where you have to start, right?
It is. And, like, again, with him, I had asked him, it was several weeks back. I said, hey, how can I help you? Let me know. He said, hey, you're not doing something on Friday night. Come up in the Northwoods. He said, we hit this place and that for fish fries. He goes where the people are so he can talk to both sides. I think we tend to just talk to our own too much. And you have to reach across.
One thing that you look at the 7th, and it's very early. Obviously, it's very, very early. But one thing that's jumped out very quickly is that Michael Alfonso must have some money behind him. Because every time I watch a Packer game, I see his commercial.
Boy, are there ever, yeah.
I know, but I mean, that's again, somebody who watches politics. You look
Where's
at this.
all this money coming from?
It is a very slick ad, and we're seeing, and I've seen him on Thanksgiving Day during the Packer game against the Bears last week.
Yep, I did too.
I saw it also in other areas. I think Ian mentioned he's seen him on Wheel of Fortune, which is obviously a program that reaches a lot of people as well.
Every night. I see it on Wheel of Fortune at least once a night.
But the thing about it is, I mean, I get concerned where somebody just seems to be being propped again by big money.
Yeah, exactly. Big money. And probably the strangest thing about those commercials is where he's had a career in construction. He's only 25 years old. I mean, what do you mean he had a career?
And again, we'll let Michael Alfonso speak for himself, and I'm sure we'll hear lots from him. But again, one thing that's said is, and that's said by so many Republicans, is how they're fighting for those who are not the wealthy. He basically says, well, I'm going to fight for the working class. And none of their policy, again, many of their policies seem to be focused not on the working class, but on the wealthy, the top 2%.
Or you talk that it's for the working class, but I always tell people just go and look at their voting record because everything they do is voting against.
Let me ask you, because I want to be, as we get into this primary, I want to be fair to everybody. We have Fred Clark. Who else is running again right now for the Democrats in the 7th?
We have Chris Armstrong, who hails from almost to the Minnesota border, around Chippewa Falls, which I think New Richmond. I think he's from.
I think you're right, New Richmond.
And there is an attorney who just put her hat in the ring, Ginger Murray. And
Ginger reached out to me on social, so she's working on it. Hey, it's all about me, of course. It's
all about you. It's always all about you. But yeah, she was a former city attorney up in Forest County. I think she hails out of Sun Prairie. If I'm not mistaken.
How do you look at because you being party chair, but do you? Because you were with Fred here. I mean, are you somebody that's willing to endorse in this race, or are you going to kind of?
I can't do that.
Okay. So basically, if a candidate wants to reach out to you, you'll be able to help them
reach out to me
these kind of events,
I
right?
go from there. Yep.
And that's the thing. And one thing that you have to do is reach the people. And I think again, that Fred was just walking around downtown. I found that very impressive. That he just said, "Hey,"
he stops and talks to anybody and everybody.
He wasn't that all familiar with us here, so I was talking to him about, "Oh yeah, I know Pat and all that stuff." And so it's like, yeah, absolutely. So. Again, it's going to be very interesting. I'd like the idea of, I don't want to have 18 candidates, but I think 3 candidates where you're able to really talk about those issues. Yeah, you get a choice,
and different people resonate differently with.
And also, I know that some folks are, hey, we just want to have a candidate. We don't want a primary. Others feel like there should be a primary. That's a whole different discussion. But
I think it's good to have a primary because as a candidate, it pushes you to do better.
More with Nancy at 7:52.
The Chad Holmes Show is part of the Civic Media Radio Network and airs on WXCO weekday mornings from 8 until 10. To learn more about this show and all of the Civic Media programming, check out the website at civicmedia.us/shows.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.